Hi, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. My name is Cassie, and I'm the reader behind MomentsAre. Before we begin, I want to announce that my private readings are now open for purchase on my website, okay? So there's going to be a limited amount because I only have so much available spots for each week. But I did want to let you know that, yes, you're able to order them now, and I will be adding more packages over the next couple of months, okay? That said, our topic today is how does he or she feel about me? Okay, so we're going to be looking at the heart space. Okay, we're not going to be worried about what they think. We're not going to be worried about basically their judgments. We're going to be concerned with what's going on in their heart. How are they feeling about the connection? How are they feeling about you? How are they feeling just in general? And then we're also going to look at what needs to be brought in or released in the situation to help move your relationship along. All right? Okay, so that said, let's go ahead and point out the piles. Pile number 1 is the gray bloodstone. Pile number 2 is the white opalite. Pile number 3 is the black obsidian. Pile number 4 is the blue Lapis Lazuli. Pile number 5 is the purple Fluorite. And pile number 6 is the pink rose quartz. Okay, so while you guys are picking your piles, just wanted to let you guys know anything you need to know about me is in the description. I want to go ahead and thank you, those of you who have donated. There are 2 ways you can donate or do an energy exchange, however you want to put it. And one way is through PayPal, and one way is looking at the MomentsAre wish list on Amazon. Anything that's purchased on the MomentsAre wish list will go back to the channel, okay? So it's only for supplies for the channel. And I just wanted to say both of those are also in the description. Also, the timestamps are in the description. All right, I think I've covered everything. That said, you know, if you have not picked your pile yet, go ahead and pause the video now. Otherwise, we are going to start with the gray bloodstone. Righty guys, so hope you had a good weekend, those of you who are tuning in the day that this is going up. And as always, I sure hope that everybody's Valentine's Day was bearable and good, because boy, Valentine's Day can be a very difficult day for some people. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the gray bloodstone, here is your reading. So how your person is feeling right now, okay? So we have the 2 of Swords. We have the 6 of Cups, right? And we have the 10 of Swords, okay? We have Balance, okay? We have the 2 of Hearts. So this is a really important card, okay? This is the equivalent of the 2 of Cups in this particular deck. And this is about union, okay? And Surrender to Prayer. So, wow, I wouldn't have thought that this would have come up, but this is your advice card, and I'll get to that. But let's go ahead and just focus on what they're feeling, okay? Because this is a really interesting dynamic here. Very clear. So we've got a heart block right now, okay? So your person might not be in communication with you, or if they are, they might be very, very unclear with their wants, desires. They might be sending mixed messages, okay? What they're doing is that they're trying to block what they're feeling, because what they're feeling is really intense and it's causing them a lot of conflict, okay? You know how a person can be in 2 minds about something? It's like this person is in 2 hearts about something, okay? And sometimes when we feel something, it can be, it can cause us to feel 2 things at once, okay? For example, I had an issue with a friend recently where there had been a disagreement, and I wasn't really sure where we stood. And after a couple of days, my friend reached out to me, and I felt both happiness that they reached out to me, but I also felt sadness that they were in so much pain and that I was in so much pain that I didn't really know what was going to happen. That's what I mean when we're talking about being in 2 hearts of something, you know? It was like a bittersweet feeling. That's kind of what your person's going through right now. And we have we have a very like naive idea of the way that this relationship feels. It feels fresh and new and exciting, and just something that they haven't felt in a really, really long time. Okay, it feels like this could be like it's almost like a childhood wish fulfillment for them. Okay, and then we also have this kind of defeatist attitude, though, that they also feel like, what if I fail? What if this is so important to me? What if I lose it somehow? What if I mess up? Okay, so the Ten of Swords is here talking about how they are so afraid to fail in the situation. And I know that that can be very difficult for those of us who, it's like we get so caught up in our positive emotions that we don't even think to worry about how it's like we just want to do what feels good. And that's a very, very strong motivator in relationships. But an equally strong motivator is avoiding pain, okay? And for some people, the avoidance of pain is a stronger motivator. So right now, part of their heart's like, let's totally jump into this. It is so important. I really want to do this. It's exciting and all of that. And the other part is like, oh my gosh, I cannot get involved with this. It's too intense. It's too amazing. It's just like, it would hurt way too much to lose this, that kind of thing. This is very much an internal feeling and not something that's really so much having to do with you specifically. This is just it's almost like their own issue that they have to work out on their own. And they are actively working on it, because then we see here where the relationship is going is the balance card. And so they're going to be able to balance this out where it's like, I'm aware of the rewards, I'm aware of the risks, and ultimately I want to be together with this person and come into union, right? So the where the relationship's going here is that it's going to start balancing out. And we also have union, which, and it doesn't necessarily have to be this. It doesn't have to be physical intimacy, but it most likely will be. But it will most likely just be this feeling, like this merging of consciousness, this merging of thoughts, feelings, this alignment between the two of you. If you are in separation, you might see one another soon, that kind of thing. Or if you haven't been talking, you might, you might get a message soon from this person. So this union is where it's going to. So you guys are going to come together. Everything's going to work out just fine. It's just this person has to process their feelings and unblock their heart. That's what they're trying to do right now. They know that it's something that's constantly churning in the back of their mind. Okay, so it's not like this is something that they're not actively working on. Okay, what you can do in the meantime is that we have surrender to prayer, which I mean, I really didn't think that this was going to come up. I'm very familiar with this particular deck, but I just, for whatever reason, I didn't think this was going to come up. But obviously prayer is associated with religion, spirituality, and I understand that. And even though readings are also associated with spirituality and religion, sometimes the word prayer can be a kind of a charged word. So I want to make sure that you understand that we're talking about setting your intentions. We're talking about writing down, setting intentions. You can even say it to yourself, like, everything's okay. This is going to work. Or I trust the universe is working for us. Or I trust spirit. Or if you are religious, I trust God or goddess or whatever your word is for that. It's what we're talking about is making a wish and believing that what seems like the impossible is possible. Now, for some of you, you'll be like, well, I don't think it's impossible. I can kind of see that this is going on. And I'm just saying that for the general audience, for those of you who picked this card, because I do think that some of you guys are just, you don't even know if it's going to work. You don't even know if it's possible that this is going to happen, but it will. And we've got the surrender to prayer. I have to mention that I can't ignore the idea of the 2 twice and then the 14. I really believe that regardless of what time you're watching this video, we're looking at around 2 weeks, okay? you know, we've got 14, so I would put it at 2 to 3 weeks from now. You should see a big improvement here, okay? Because, you know, I don't want to say 2 weeks and then have it happen on like the 15th day, right? So 2 to 3 weeks, you'll be fine. So you'll be very aware of how your person's feeling. And they might be talking to you about this anyway, but I just wanted to make certain that you knew there's just some conflict here. There's two hearts. It really has to do with their own issues, though, so you don't have to worry about that. Just set your intentions. Do some, if you pray, pray. If you wish, wish. If you hope, hope. If you like to use the power of attraction, write something down as if you already have it. Like, this relationship is great, you know, that kind of thing. To kind of pump yourself up so that you are in that headspace where you know you're confident and you know this is going to happen. All right? Okay, guys. Hi, pile number 2, the white Opalite. Here is your reading. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man, okay, the Knight of Pentacles, the Page of Cups. Okay, sorry, I dropped him. We have Challenging Times. Okay, we have Faith and Surrender to Non-Action. So this is your advice card. I'm going to go ahead and just put that aside for now, but the advice is non-action, okay? So let's look at how your person's feeling, okay? It just tells such an interesting story. This one. Sometimes readings can just be like they feel, you know, they feel happy or whatever, you know, they feel happy, they feel sad or whatever. Or sometimes it can just tell a story and paint a picture. It's really interesting how that works out. So again, it's how does he or she feel about me? Okay, so we're talking about your person, and right now how they're feeling about you and the relationship is that they're kind of turned around right now. They're confused. They don't really know which perspective to take. They just know they need to do something new. Okay, they would like to be practical because that's what makes them feel in control as far as like how they, you know, proceed forward. But the reality is that they're feeling really out of control because their emotions are so intense. So how are they feeling right now? They're feeling intense, positive, connecting relationship emotions towards you and the relationship. And it's like they've got a struggle inside where it's like that might feel a little bit wrong because they're used to feeling more in control. They're used to not feeling so affected, okay? And how this is going to come out is in kind of endearing ways. You know, you might even notice this yourself, that maybe they might make gestures and stuff that are kind of like, it's like, gosh, I don't really know how to read that. You know, like, what exactly you're saying. You know, make sure that, you know, especially if you're seeing this person daily and everything, make sure to smile at them and you know, acknowledge that, you know, yeah, they, you know, yeah, I appreciate the gestures you're trying to make. This person's trying to build the connection more, okay? That's the bottom line. But we're talking about feelings again. I don't want to get you know, I want to be clear about the feelings themselves. The feelings is that they know that they need to try something new with you, and that you know, they want this connection to continue, and they want to make sure that it comes up. They tend to normally be restrained, and as they're opening up to you more, they're going to be a little bit awkward, but it's going to be fine because you'll get a lot more feedback from them specifically about how they're feeling, which is really good because you won't have to worry so much about, you know, whether or not they feel towards you. Because you'll know, but you will get that feedback that they care about you. Now, the challenging times. This is a really interesting card to come up, and you know, I did this reading with the intention of only looking at the relationship. Okay, however, when this card came up, and I'm being told and led to say that your person's going through something else that doesn't have to do with the relationship, but it's impacting the relationship. Okay, and it's like, you know, and this would be something like maybe a loss. It might be. They're really stressed out at work. It could be that maybe they're having some financial problems. Maybe they've got a friend who's having financial problems, or family problems. It could be anything like that. Sickness, mental illness. But they're going through some challenging times right now that doesn't have to do with you, but is affecting the way that they relate to you. So just understand that if they feel distant or a little bit off, that's where it's coming from. And they might not feel comfortable totally opening up about that, because we already have a pattern of behavior here where we've got the Knight of Pentacles wants to come out, but the Page of Pentacles is kind of underneath the Knight of Pentacles. And the reason I'm saying that is that we've got the Knight of Pentacles. This is the kind of person that wants to be in control, wants to look like they're in control, and also wants to look very reserved, and basically have a poker face, right? Then the Page of Cups is this kind of almost innocent, like little boy or little girl that wears their heart on their sleeve, and so it must be really interesting to observe your person, because your person kind of has this dual personality where you can see both the child and the like almost overly stern adult at the same time. But anyway, yeah, they're going through some challenging times. It's just affecting the relationship. I don't feel like the challenging times have to do with the relationship, though. And right now, it's like, have faith that this person cares about you. If you haven't seen them yet coming forward and letting you know, that they care about you in their own, very adorable way, know that you will, and you should be able to see that, like, I would say probably within the next week or so. I don't even feel like 10 days would be the most that I would say as of the time that you're watching this, okay? And, so kind of look for that. And then when we say surrender to non-action, here's the deal. Sometimes, especially if your person's going through some challenging times, sometimes we feel like we need to act. We feel like we need to do something. It's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, there's this guy, there's this gal, there's this, there's this man, there's this woman that I'm just feeling so strongly about, and I know that they care about me, and all of that, and I want to do something. And it's like, should I write them? Should I... should I call them? Should I run into them? Should I text them? Whatever. Right now, what you are being instructed to do, at least the advice is to take the non-action way. It's kind of a wait and see. And there's a little caveat on that as well. When you do take action in this, because it's not, because the impression I'm getting is, and this is the intuitive side of this, okay? You can take this literally, but what I'm getting on the intuitive side here is, don't take action when you're feeling frantic. Take action once you've really processed through it and you know exactly what you're going to say. That way, your action can be very planned, very deliberate, and you'll feel a lot more confident that you're being clear. But right now, nothing really needs to happen on your end so much as it is them. Because they're going through this stuff. They need to get to that point where they're feeling a little bit better about this, and they will give you some good indication, okay? So we've got somebody who cares very, very much about you that's going to show that caring. They have a lot of trust. Like right now, they have a lot of trust in you, and they also want you to have a lot of trust in them and have faith in the relationship. It's not going anywhere, okay? This person's in your life, okay? So, yeah, it's a pretty good reading there. All right. Hi, pile number 3. Those of you who picked the Black Obsidian. Here's your reading. So we have the 10 of Cups. We have the 6 of Swords, and we have the 7 of Swords. Okay, we have daydreams and decisions. I just want to mention this. because as I'm looking at this, it's like 7, we've got 7 and then we've got another 7 here. This would be the equivalent of the 7 of Cups, but it's a completely different kind of deck. I'm just informing you that for those of you who know that kind of stuff. We have 8 of Hearts, Codependency. All right. And then we also have Surrender, Resentments. Okay, so this is the advice card. Okay, so let's not worry about this right now and really just look at how your person's feeling. Okay, so right now they have a vision of the future with your relationship where it's like they believe that you guys can make it through anything. Okay, no matter what has happened between the two of you or what could happen, they're very positive about that. Okay, what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get away from their thoughts and enter more into that heart space. So we're already, you know, it's kind of interesting because when I was approaching this reading, I wasn't expecting to get how their feeling is to be more feeling oriented, right? But that's exactly what I'm getting. You know, the Six of Swords is very much about moving past overthinking and getting into the heart space. You know, so they're already there. They're already looking at their feelings. Okay. And there's something kind of maybe naughty about this situation. It's coming to me in a few different ways. And this is going to apply to different viewers depending on the viewer, okay, that picked this particular pile. Maybe they've messed up somehow and they know they've messed up, but they still believe that this relationship can be, you know, taken care of. It can, you know, it can still grow and be really, really great and special, but they know that they have to get through whatever has happened. Would be probably between the two of you. Or they're just feeling really spunky right now with you. They want to do something naughty, like, you know, I'm talking more like physical intimacy and that kind of thing, you know, or they want to do something kind of mischievous with you. I don't know, like something that comes to mind is like, when I was younger, I mean, much younger, in high school, me and my friend would go to the movies and we would like kind of sneak around and try to get into a second movie after our movie finished so that we could see 2. It's something like that, you know. It's either something mischievous that, you know, has to do with just, you know, having a like kind of fun time, maybe on a date or spending time with you, or it's something more along the physical realms. But it's like how they're feeling right now is that they're feeling attracted, they're feeling that they want to spend time with you, they feel connected to you, they know that they need to be looking at their feelings. So for those of you who are in a situation where it's like, well, my person's not giving me any indication, they will start giving you indications. And the bottom line for your relationship is that they believe that your relationship can work. Okay. One thing that we have though is this Daydreams and Decisions card. This is letting us know that your person is spending a lot of time in their head, in their heart, right, as they're feeling this out. But they might not be spending so much time actually doing, okay? I don't think this is going to last a really long time, but I do think that it's important that this is, that you know that this person is doing a lot of emotional reflection, trying to get real right with how they feel so that they can express it to you better, okay? And then we have the 8 of Hearts, which is codependency. It's a really interesting card because it can be read in several different ways. When I see it combined with the 7 of Swords, I think of it as maybe what happened was that maybe the two of you have had some kind of conflict and it had to do with some kind of codependent issue. Now, codependency doesn't necessarily have to be about misusing drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, okay? If you are in a situation where your person might have an issue like that, though, understand it's not your job to fix them. That they need to fix that themselves, and they might need help with that. Okay, so I do want to just address that since it came up. But what I feel is more appropriate and is going to resonate with most of you is that there's a concept called enmeshment, okay? And that's a psychological term. Some of you've probably heard of it before, but it's when two people get so involved with one another that it's almost like they don't know where their feelings end and the other person's feelings begin. One thing that's kind of interesting is if you've heard anything or read anything about twin flames or soulmates, one of the symptoms of twin flames, according to a lot of sources, is that you feel their feelings and that you can, and that it's almost like you can pick up on their thoughts. Now, psychologically, that's called enmeshment, okay? And we don't necessarily, that doesn't necessarily have to be a good thing or a bad thing. What we're saying is, in this reading, is that what's going on is that the two of you have really merged together on a soul level. And one way to understand how they're feeling is just look to how you're feeling, okay? And also understand that on the psychological side of things, when we become so enmeshed, we kind of rearrange our schedule around the other person. We prioritize them more than ourselves. Now, sometimes that's totally appropriate in a romantic relationship, and sometimes that can be inappropriate depending on the dynamics of the situation. So this could either come as a warning, to kind of also remember to create that space for yourself. Or it could just be like, yes, you are feeling a lot of what this person's feeling already. So how does he or she feel about you? Look at how you're feeling about them right now. Okay. So this very interesting advice card, Surrender Resentment. When I look at the Seven of Swords, it's a naughty card. It's a maybe I've done something wrong card. And if there's been something like that between the two of you, try to let it go. But I understand that's easier said than done. So I'll give you a little bit of advice about that. Don't necessarily forgive the action, but forgive the person behind the action. Forgive the humanity, okay? We are all human, and we are all capable of making mistakes. No matter how huge or small a mistake is that a person makes, we're all capable of making them. And, surrendering resentment and moving towards forgiveness and acceptance is all about recognizing the humanity in others and being able to understand that we also make mistakes too. This is one of their mistakes, and move forward that way. Okay, just recognizing that they're human. And one of the definitions of human for some people is that we're prone to mistakes, right? We are prone to error. Another aspect of surrendering resentment when we talk about codependency and enmeshment and stuff like that is that if you are enmeshed, you might have issues with boundaries, okay? For example, maybe on your end you're like, okay, I think that we should message each other every day. I think we should call each other every day, or I think that we should always spend dinner together, whatever it is, okay? Be aware of the shoulds that you're putting on your relationship, because you can become resentful of someone if your boundaries aren't being honored. Make sure that you're expressing them to that person. For example, saying, it's really important that we always have dinner together every day. If you're not going to have dinner with me, that's fine, but I need to know, and I need to know why. Like, you have a business meeting and you have to make it, or you've got a very important, party to go to, or whatever it is. Basically outline what you need, what your boundaries are. And that can help you let go of any resentment for them not meeting your quote-unquote shoulds, right? Similarly, on the other side, because we're also looking at how this person feels, your person, be aware of their boundaries and what they're requesting of you, and honor those for them, okay? So that's what the resentment's about. Resentment can be a very loaded word. I think the most important thing to focus on when it comes to this relationship is that this person believes that this relationship's supposed to happen. And I think that that should, I'm sitting here using the word should after I told you guys not to. I think that that can be very comforting for those of you who aren't certain where you're standing right now, is that this person really does believe that there's a future there. Okay? They see you in their future. All right, guys? Okay. Hi, pile number 4. Those of you who picked the blue Lapis Lazuli. Here is your reading. Okay, so we have the 9 of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. We have spread your wings. We have depression and surrender your need to always be right. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm picking up on so much. I want to make sure that I get it all and make sure it's real clear to me. Okay, so first off, you surrender your need to always be right. This is your advice card, and I'd like to kind of put it aside and not focus on it so much until we've gone through these cards, because these cards are really the meat of the reading. How does your person feel about you, okay, and about the relationship? What are they feeling in general? This can be kind of a scary card to get, okay? But we have them in a cycle right now where they are feeling really down. And it has to do with personal responsibility. They feel like they're not taking enough responsibility for their actions. And that's making them feel very guilty and sometimes ashamed of certain things, you know? And it's almost like they don't want to admit it, but at the same time they know that they need to be responsible for that. And then we've got the King of Pentacles here, and the King of Pentacles represents the kind of person who is responsible, okay? So they are looking at what pain that they've either caused themselves or you, that they need to take responsibility for and own, okay? That's one thing that they're thinking about. The other thing that they're thinking about is their passions. And they are stuck in between the idea that they are feeling really, I would imagine that your person's probably more feeling oriented than thinking oriented. And if they're not, right now they are in their heart space, okay? Because we've got this Ace of Wands. It's talking about new passion, very invigorating. It's like very dramatic even. Is this, you know, somebody wanting to get up on a stage and just proclaim, you know, how they're feeling and everything. And then we've got the 9 of Wands. Which is kind of, it's like that passion's there, but it's like they're a little bit guarded about it. They basically don't want to appear crazy. That's like the bottom line right here, is that they don't want you to think that they're weird because they feel so strongly. And they even worry that you might think that they're weird or they're not totally in control. And the truth is that it's a little bit of both, actually. They aren't in control completely, and they are a little bit weird. But I think we all get weird when we talk about relationships and all of that. So, you know, there's no really big problem here or anything. But something, I mean, like, they are feeling very, very positive and very excited about you. There is some, I feel that sexual tension, or the physical tension of wanting to be close to you as well there. And then we've got the spread your wings card, which is a little bit of a difficult, it's like, well, what does that mean, you know? Well, here's how I can explain it. The two, you know, the purple 2, spread your wings. This is also a Wands card in this deck, although the deck is not associated. It's a completely different deck, and it's not supposed to be read as tarot, but it would be the equivalent of the 2 of Wands. So for those of you who are familiar with the 2 of Wands, that card is all about making sure that they are enriching themselves so they also have their own separate identity in addition to their relationship with you. One thing that you will find about this person is they are very independent-minding. They might do something and not even tell you about it, and then you'll find out about it later on. Like my partner, his name is Greg. he's so weird. He will like write a whole computer program, and then later on, like weeks after he's written this and implemented it and everything, he'll, I'll just be talking to him, and something will come up like, oh, Elon Musk did this weird thing recently, and he'll say, I mean, and this is absolutely true, he actually did this. He'll say, oh yeah, I made a Twitter bot that posts random posts, and it's meant to mimic Elon Musk's speech, and it talks about how, all the new things that he's about to invent and do with the world. It's like, when did you do that? It's like, we spend almost all of our time together and I never knew that you did that. It's kind of weird. That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting here, is that like your person will have these little projects going on that they'll totally get immersed in, and you'll find out about them later, but it doesn't have anything to do with them not wanting to include you. It's just about them having that individual process where they need that individual space. And it's like, that's what this card's about. It's just gaining, it's a lot about worldly knowledge too. And it's about just gaining more and more life experience and stuff like that. So surrender your need to always be right. I think almost everybody needs to kind of keep this in mind, but sometimes you will find that you will be in situations with your person, and it's like there's the facts and then there's the truth, right? In every situation, the facts are what's objective. Like, I can say this is a card that has a hand on it. The hand is coming out of clouds and it's holding a stick, right? I can say that, and I can say it says Ace of Wands on it. And anybody who's looking at this card that can read English and all of that kind of stuff will agree with me that yes, it says Ace of Wands on it. There's a stick, there's a hand holding it, and it's coming out of clouds. Okay, so that's what we can all agree on. However, the way I interpret the card, what I think is behind the card, the meaning there, that is my personal truth, okay? So when we're talking about surrendering your need to always be right, understand that, a person can be either right or wrong when it comes to facts, okay? If one of my viewers was to say, no, that's a foot that's holding that stick, it would be like, no, you're wrong, it's actually a hand, right? This is not a foot, it's a hand, right? That's the fact, right? But if someone says, well, maybe this person isn't very grounded because the stick's in the air, that's not right or wrong. That's their interpretation of it. That's how they've observed the situation. So understand that maybe you might see it as being one way, and your person sees it as being another way, and that's okay, because they're both equally true, even if they're different truths, right? That's what this card's about. It's talking about how you guys can both have you can both come to different conclusions about things, and that's okay. What matters is that you agree on some of the bigger things. So it's also talking about choosing your own battles, but this card is definitely not saying, oh my gosh, you always have to win every argument, don't you? It's not saying that. What it's saying is just be aware that both of you have your own personal truths and honor that. Okay? All right. So again, they get really down on themselves when they have caused any pain, and they want to take some responsibility for that. Other than that, they're feeling very impassioned, a little guarded because they're feeling so impassioned, but they are feeling very impassioned towards you. This looks like a very exciting relationship, okay? And something that will get some activity, okay? All right. Hi, those of you who picked pile number 5, the purple fluorite. Here is your card. Okay, this is really good reading. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords. Okay, we've got Seeking the Truth, or Seek the Truth. Okay, and we have Hope. Okay, or the Star, right? And your advice card is Surrender Defensiveness. So this is a really positive reading, guys. So, some readings are just like straightforward. How does your person feel? They feel this. This particular reading is more of a story for me. Okay, so it tells a story of a person that wants to get away from the drama, but does still want to connect to the emotions, right? But they want to walk, see this person's walking away from those cups. The cups represent different feelings, okay, in this particular card. And they're filled with, each cup is filled with water traditionally, okay? So, and water represents the depths of feelings, you know. It can represent so many other things, but that's how this card is, quote unquote, supposed to be read, and that's intuitively it feels right for me. So your person doesn't want to have a whole lot of disruptive feelings right now, and so they're trying to get out of negative, negative unhealthy feelings, okay, when it comes to this relationship. So what you're going to see is they're going to be a lot more balanced out, and it's going to feel like it's a more equal give and take, okay? So what they're reflecting on as they're looking at your relationship is, how can we be more equal in the way that we take care of the relationship? Maybe up until this point, one of you has really done most of the work in holding the relationship up, and what they're trying to do is balance that out a little bit. Maybe your person wants to take a little bit more responsibility, or maybe your person wants you to take more responsibility. It's just talking about how emotionally they want to get away from the yuckiness, and they want to make sure that things are balanced. So what they're going to be doing is, we've got communication, okay? So for those of you who aren't in communication with your person, this person really wants to communicate with you soon, okay? So make sure that, I mean, if you want to hear from them, make sure that they have a way of reaching you, okay? So this person wants to communicate with you, and what's interesting about the way it's coming through is that they want to communicate with you with more compassion. So the next, it'll be an interesting kind of experiment. The next message or interaction you have with this person, be aware of how much compassion is behind their words, and how much they're trying to move away from negative talk to moving towards positive, uplifting, supportive talk. Okay, it'll be really interesting. This person they value fact finding, they value honesty. So not only are they looking for you to be honest and consistent, but they're also looking to be honest and consistent with themselves as well. This is coming up more because this is what makes them feel secure, okay? Because again, the reading is, how does he or she feel? Well, they feel secure when they feel that they can trust, okay? And not only when they're trustworthy, but also when you're trustworthy. So make sure that your words and actions are aligning up, Sometimes people, will overthink a relationship and overthink what they're doing. And they'll do something like, they'll send a message and say, oh, I'd really like to see you. When are you available? And then they'll wait 3 days before they follow up. It's like, if somebody really wants to see someone, they don't want to wait. They're like, I want to see you. And then a few hours later, it's like, hey, I'm really excited. I really want to see you. It's like, make sure that your behavior is aligned with what you're saying, basically, and for those of you who are like, well, I do want to see my person, but I don't want to be pushy, that hit kind of too close to home. Then just say, I really want to see you, but I don't want to bother you. But just know that that's really important to me, and I'd really appreciate if you could get back to me as soon as you see this message, and let me know when we can spend some time together. That's a way of being honest, and also having your actions line up with your honesty and that kind of thing. So make sure that you're doing that, because that's what makes them feel really content, is seeing that consistency. So another aspect of this, sorry, I just keep picking up on more stuff. I shouldn't apologize for that, because you get a longer reading. But another thing about it is like, sometimes they feel like they get mixed messages just from the world. It's not just you. It's from anybody, from anything, right? And so when they're thinking about the relationship with you, they take, you're special because you don't send mixed messages, okay? That's what makes you very special to them, and why they feel so good in this situation. And then we've got hope. It's really interesting because I feel like, especially when we talk about getting away from drama, I feel like for some of you guys, not all, but for some of you, maybe something really catastrophic happened recently in your relationship, or maybe it was just something catastrophic on one of your ends where just something just really, like, I call them tower moments because, you know, the tower actually comes before the star, so, in the tarot, but it's like point where it's like your whole world gets redefined and you have to, you know, rebuild and that kind of thing. The star is basically about being vulnerable and having, you know, having a plan that you can really believe in as far as getting ahead after this kind of collapse, you know? And it's a very positive card, and it just shows that you guys, I mean, for me, it shows that you guys have a future. This person's making plans for you. They're making plans for the future. They're hopeful, and they want to be vulnerable with you. And vulnerability, you know, it comes in a lot of different forms in relationships, as I'm sure many of you are aware. But of course, emotional vulnerability and physical vulnerability are both very key players right now when it comes to your person. That's how it's coming through for me. So keep that in mind. So surrender defensiveness. Sometimes people will say things and we don't know what they're talking about, and we'll be like, whoa, 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 wait, you know, and I'm holding up my hands like I want to shield myself, you know. It's like, try to look at your person as having good intentions. Give them the benefit of the doubt that they have good intentions, and when they say something that you're like, what was that, you know, like, seriously? Just ask for clarity, like, whoa, I'm confused. What does that mean? Or, oh, I don't feel very good when I hear that. What did you mean by that, you know? This comes from two kind of aspects that is going on with your person. For some of you guys, your person's kind of like teases a lot, and they can sometimes go too far. And for what I believe is the majority of the viewers that have picked this, your person just sometimes can be really sharp, you know, and they are working on speaking with more compassion. Okay, they know that that's there. They know that the feeling behind. Oh, I'm sorry, I have the Bloodstone from way back when on here. So yeah, sorry, they know the feeling behind their words is just as important as what they're saying. So they are aware that that's going on. And so your job right now is to try to give them the benefit of the doubt that their intentions are good with what they're saying to you, and they're not trying to be critical. Sometimes people will come out sounding so critical when they don't mean to at all. I'm one of those people. Of course, I mean, you guys might be like, what? You're great. You know, you're very good at speaking and being very compassionate and all of that great stuff. But no, in my personal life, I am very just blunt. I'm very like, you know, like somebody be like, oh, I'm being kind of a jerk, aren't I? And I'm like, yep, you know, and then I'll be like, wait a minute. Well, yeah, you're being a jerk now, but you're not usually a jerk, you know, stuff like that. I'm just that kind of person. I just say what I think and what I feel, and yes, I do reflect before I speak, but just it's in my nature to just be real honest with my in my intimate relationships. So yeah, just know that people like me, we know that we need to be more compassionate with our speech, with the people that we care about and everything. That and your person is working on that, you know, and I am too, in case you're wondering. All right, guys, this is great though. I mean, I really like this reading. It just what I like about it is the growth aspect. I just see so much positive growth coming out of this and moving from an unhealthy situation to a healthier situation. And I don't get to see a whole lot of examples of relationships that are going from maybe a more negative place to a positive place that often. So it gives me a lot of happiness and joy to see that there are relationships that are moving in that direction. So that's why I really like this a lot. I really identify with a lot of the components of it too. All right. Hi. Pile number 6. Those of you who picked the pink rose quartz, here is your reading. Wow, we have got some great ones. Okay, so we've got Justice. We've got the 3 of Cups. Okay, we've got the 2 of Pentacles. We have the Heart Chakra. Okay. We have Progress, which is the 7 of Angels in this particular deck. And Surrender to the Beauty of the Natural World. This is so, sometimes they're just so straightforward. It's like, it's so easy. So your person is feeling really, really happy. Really, yeah, they really enjoy the time that they spend with you. And they are thrilled that they found somebody that they can be both intellectual with and like silly with, right? A lot of people don't have that. They kind of have to pick either or, but they really like that. They are looking for further into their financial future, because right now they're feeling kind of insecure where they are financially, and it might not even be like how much money they make. It might just be what their career projection is or something like that. This is my long distance relationship card, so I do want to acknowledge that, but that doesn't have to apply to you. I'm just, you know, acknowledging that. But yeah, the person's just feeling a little bit, I would say insecure, or like they want to move in a new direction when it comes to finances. They have some kind of choice that they need to make, and that is affecting how they're feeling. But they're feeling so joyful, and we've got the Heart Chakra. They're totally open. Okay, your person loves you. Okay, your person is very open, and they want to be with you, and they want to share their emotions with you. And all of that. So you've got a great thing. And if your person hasn't done this yet, they're about to, like almost immediately. Okay. So look for that. But yeah, you know, the balance is really good. This is a kind of a major relationship for them. This isn't something that's just, you know, to have fun, even though we do have the 3 of Cups, which kind of can be associated with partying sometimes. This is really about how they're feeling about you, about the relationship with you. So they're feeling really positive there. And you guys are making progress. If you feel like you guys have been stuck for a while, you're about to become unstuck and start really, really moving forward. So we've got the Progress card as just saying that that's the direction that they're going with this. And, progress isn't just about continuing to build something great, but it's also about making goals, hitting goals, right? So something that you might want to do is to share with your person what your goals for the relationship are, okay? Because one thing about making progress for them, because this is what they're feeling. They're excited about making progress in this relationship. You know, you're meeting their goals, what they want, what they've envisioned, right? But they'd feel even better if they knew what your goals are and what your vision is for this relationship, so that they can also help meet yours too. Because again, they're very open. They want to make sure that you guys are both happy. Okay, very balanced here. And then we've got Surrender to the Beauty of the Natural World. I think that what we're talking, this is your advice card, okay? What we're talking about is sometimes we can get so stuck in our heads when we're thinking about relationships, and when we're like evaluating it and everything. Right now, just enjoy what's going on and know that everything's going to come out naturally. Okay, I understand some of you guys might actually need to literally surrender to nature and spend some time in nature and ground. Okay, so I do want to acknowledge that, but I think that this is more about talking about the natural progression of things. Understand that this is a very natural process for both you and your person, and that it is coming about at its own pace, and if it feels a little slow, it's because your person just needs to move a little bit slower than you do. And if it feels fast, it's because your person's just really excited. They really want to, you know, move forward with you, and you've just got to communicate to them that, you know, your processing is a little bit slower than theirs right now, you know. Most likely you guys are pretty in sync though, because when the heart chakra comes up in readings, for me, it's all about being in sync. It's all about your heart's open, their heart's open, and you're communicating within that heart space, okay? And this comes to play when you have two people who are very empathetic. And it can also just come into play when you've got two people that just have a really strong connection. All right, guys? So your person's feeling great. You know, the financial stuff is just coming in, and again, you know, I know that the reading is about how they feel about you and your relationship, but it's just coming in because it's affecting maybe their mood when they're around you. So just be aware of that. All right, guys? Very good. Okay, hi, thank you so much for watching to the end of my video. I really, really appreciate it. I just want to say that I am so excited about this channel and how much it's growing. I know that I had to take a few days off recently. Me and my business partner Shannon had a lot of stuff to kind of figure out, and we needed some time. We didn't expect that we were going to need that extra time, but we did, and now we've got everything sorted out. Really excited about posting regularly again though, and again, I appreciate each and every one of you. All of your feedback, you know, every single comment is read, and just keep leaving feedback so I know what I'm doing right, and so I know what I'm doing wrong too, okay? And contact me if you need me. I have my emails available in the description, and I will see you at the next reading.